So a week ago today, I said about 17 times. I'll be honest, I don't give a shit about the 4 day tournament. Tell you what, I give lots of shit. This thing fucking rules.
I give lots
It's
of
been
shit.
incredible. It's a lot of fun. I'm having way more fun than I was anticipating, and it's great, which is wonderful considering we're without NHL hockey for 2 weeks or whatever it is. This thing rules. And like even today, it looked like Canada was going to piss pound Finland, and all of a sudden, it got real interesting in the last couple of minutes. But I mean, I've been shocked how much fun the tournament has been so far, though. Like, I really am. I did not think I was going to be able to like get. I figured the USA Canada would be fun, and then Finland Sweden would be fun. But this tournament is nuts.
But I'm going to disagree. Like, it really has mostly for me been USA Canada. Like, the rest of it's been fine. Like, I guess it exceeded my expectations, which were like dangerously low. But USA Canada is it, and that being the like marquee game Saturday night in Montreal at the same time as the NBA All-Star Skills Competition. Which, oh my god, is this the first time that hockey has ever had the upper hand on basketball?
Probably. I didn't. So you'll be shocked to learn I don't watch the NBA.
I didn't know about it until everyone was commenting, like, "Oh, wow,
What on earth was that?" I didn't do any like deep dive into what the fucking skill competition actually ended up being. But the clips were so funny where it was just like guys just picking the ball and just like throwing it. I was like, what is going on, dude? It's been fucking it's the weirdest event. But and then what was the USA Canada, like 5 million or whatever, like 6 million viewers or something?
It's an insane number. And I've like totally flipped on this, not from like, obviously we were all wrong going in about it being boring, but we need this tournament to continue. Like, granted, I hate that it's like a year apart from the Olympics. They need to, like, in the future, make it so that it's every 2 years kind of thing. But those fights wouldn't happen in the Olympics. You can't do that. You will be booted. You're done. Having this, oh man, like, this is way cooler because it's NHL rules, and I'm so here for it. My only real criticism is 4 nations isn't enough.
Yeah.
You know? But everyone's been screaming that, and we'll talk about it a little bit later as we get into a hypothetical Russia roster if they were in, because like they could be a powerhouse, but like there's a lot of countries that it'd be awesome to have their players in it. What do you think, though? We'll hold Russia for later, but Isha's very, 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 very opposed. I'm sure he'll come into the chat here in a second. But do we have to find a way to do Team Europe again? Because like, there's never going to be a full expansion to like have every nation participate in this. And like, you look at Germany, a couple studs that should be in a tournament like this, but not really enough guys to make it work for one team. I would argue like the same for Czechs, Slovaks. Like, why not do some kind of conglomerate of Europe or like mainland Europe or non-Scandinavia? Call it whatever you want. But would you want to see that, or is that a bad thing?
I mean, yeah, because like it is tough. Like I feel like the closest you could get would be the Czechs, and even then, by like third line, third pair on D, it gets pretty thin.
Yeah.
And I mean, Germany would be like borderline impossible unless you're just bringing in non-NHL guys in the first place. But I mean, it was funny. Like we both were like creating in our own minds like a potential Team Russia for this tournament, and even that was hard because I discovered while doing that, and it didn't matter because I had enough defensemen that played both sides. but like there are 3 Russians in the NHL who are right shot defensemen, which is
I didn't even find that many. So
it's nuts. It's like crazy. There's literally 3 of them.
they barely have enough centers.
Yeah, the centers. I mean, I think I found like 5 that would be like viable.
Ovechkin just takes 1 keys from the dot.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, but like, yeah, no, but like you said, like I think probably depending on how far you want to like expand the tournament, like you would have to do some version of Team Europe or whatever. But again, I feel like the closest you could come in just one country is Czechia, unless they felt like settling a little historical beef and make Czechoslovakia, like, and I don't think that's palatable. So
hang on, what's more likely, that or Russia's inclusion?
Yeah. Good question.
Isha comments and only bleeps out one of his F-bombs, so that's a little confusing. Defeats the purpose a little bit, but yes, Isha not on the Team Europe train. Hates Team North America too, which like you hate fun because Team North America is like the coolest thing that hockey has done up until this USA Canada game. So shut your mouth. Well, let's just get into it then. We can talk specifically about the Wild's participation here in the 4 Nations. And dude, you were going nuts, I know, for the first game, but like our boys are showing up for Team Sweden, even though Team Sweden is now officially eliminated. We are recording this before USA and Sweden, but it's going to be USA and Canada on Thursday. Sweden can't be part of it, so this is kind of a weird game, but what can you say about the world learning about Jonas Brodin?
Like, again, this is exactly what we talked about. It's like finally people are going to be able to see just how fucking good this guy is. And obviously playing with Hedman, scores the first goal for Sweden. And I mean, like, it's been a weird tournament for that team in general, but like it was crazy how every Wild player ended up on the score sheet at some point in like the first games. And then, like, I mean, some of the saves that Gustafsson was pulling off versus Canada were nuts. Like, pretty much across the board, the Wild players that are at this tournament have showed up and played big roles. And I mean, like, Boldy's been great for US. Faber settled in real nice, and him and Slavin look incredible together at this point now. But like specifically with Sweden, like Joel Eriksson, the most Joel Eriksson assist of all time versus Finland. Scores the tying goal versus Canada in the 3rd period. Again, Brodin gets the scoring started for Sweden. It looked like that was going to end up being like a slaughter too at one point. Like, I mean, that power play for Canada, they score immediately. Fucking like, it was unbelievable just to look at the score sheet and see McDavid to Crosby to McKinnon. I was like, oh my God, I could not believe we've missed out on this forever at every event or international event. But I mean, like the Swedes, the Wild guys for Sweden, like Gustafsson gets yanked in that second game, but I guess he was sick, not related to performance. But I mean, again, in that first game against Canada, like Gustafsson was probably the reason that Canada didn't put up like 8 fucking goals. And I mean, you look at the goals against, like, what was he supposed to do? Like, that was the other thing too. Like, maybe he probably wants the Marner one back, maybe, but even then, like, that was a slick shot, perfectly placed off the rush. But I mean, yeah, no, it's been nice seeing the world learn about Jonas Brodin, because I like, again, I will never forget some of the shit people were saying to me when he signed his extension, who clearly never watched him play hockey before. But no, they've all shown up big time for Team Sweden. So yeah, like you said, this is a weird one tonight, but yeah, it's been great.
And on the other side of the aisle for tonight's game, we've got Brock Faber, Matt Boldy, John Hines, Bill Guerin. What have you thought about Faber and Boldy's play?
I thought Boldy's been great. Like, obviously, he's not featuring a ton in like whatever, like the power plays, but like, I mean, what was it? The assist versus Finland in that first game where he's on the forecheck, takes buckets, the primary assist there. Faber assists to Boldy, that tip in. But like, I thought at the first few shifts, Faber looked a little bit uncomfortable, but like after that, he settled right in. I mean, against Canada, him and Slavin were on the ice for all 3 USA goals. They both played I think he played like 26 and a half minutes that night, and he's just been solid since. But it's been fun watching Boldy like fit into his line combo as well. And again, they've all the fact that they've all ended up on the score sheet has been sick. But that tip in from Faber was ridiculous. Like Boldy from Faber. I still it blows my mind that so many players can redirect pucks like that. Like it's just crazy to me. Like it's just like the level of hand-eye with the puck going as fast as it's going. As Boldy's got a man draped all over him, and he still finds a way with the back end, fucking tips it home. But I thought they've both been really great too. And again, especially once Faber got settled in, he's been really good.
Cole says Faber Slavin was so much fun to watch.
I was wondering where that was going for a second.
It was a little dramatic, but no, I mean, so true. And we've got a comment here that kind of takes us into the next topic, Z, from Austin Leslie. So when does Billy trade for Slavin? And that kind of goes in line with the question I was going to ask, which is rank Billy's top trade targets now based on how Team USA has played.
Yeah. Is it still Brock Nelson hit the crossbar in the first game? So does he still get thrown in? We still include him?
Billy saw the picture that Pete Blackburn posted about him playing for the World Seniors, which is still one of the better posts I've seen lately. Pete doesn't miss, but
yeah. Do you remember when Slavin first came to the league again, his first few years, Carolina was just a very average team or whatever. And people were reading his name Jakub Slavin. Oh my God, who's this Czech guy? And then it's wait, he's from Denver. He's Jacob Slavin. That's what he thinks.
Oh, we lost Z. I don't know what happened there. Maybe his computer died or something. Flyer Voracek, though, Montreal wishes Cole Caulfield was playing instead of Boldy now for totally different reasons, which is very accurate. Hey, Z, good to have you back.
I don't know what just happened there.
Never do.
What I just clicked on.
Never do. So, who are Billy's top targets?
Oh, God. I don't know. Hedman? I'm getting to the point now where the whole I'm just annoyed by all the chatter about Brock Nelson. Actually, I'm just it's just annoying to me.
So Russo is annoying to you?
No, but
yes,
the just assumption that it's done, it's happening. It's every goal or assist that Brock Nelson has counts for the Minnesota Wild. I'm just oh my God. But yeah, I mean, maybe it'd be Brady Tkachuk, you know what I mean? Or both of them as a package deal, somehow a 3-way trade, 4-way trade, 5-way trade, 6-way trade. I don't know how do you want to make that work, but that USA Canada game, I completely forgot for whatever reason that this was the NHL rules. So when they just dropped the gloves, I was they could do that? They could just do that? Oh my God. And then both the Tkachuks, 2 great fights. JT Miller punched himself in the face, which was also very funny in that fight. But that was insane. I completely forgot that it wasn't IHF rules. So when they dropped the gloves, I was I lost my mind. I was at my buddy's house and we were just going nuts. He doesn't really watch a ton of hockey in the first place. So he was what the fuck is going on out here? I was yeah, this is insane.
Yeah, the amount of people coming out of the woodworks just being oh, I like hockey now.
Yeah.
But that is what you wanted to happen from this. And it absolutely did. And
it is crazy though, because it's it's a very funny concept for a tournament, but it's very funny that this could be the event that somehow gets people to really love hockey. This is what, all right, fine, fair enough, I guess.
The hate.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And again, being so good directly in comparison to the NBA skills competition is just huge.
Incredible.
That's so funny to me. All right. Mateo also threw this one in for us that he wanted us to address. Chicago hates Faber. Apparently, people are going nuts talking about how Brock Faber looked overwhelmed by the speed of the game, and it just led into a whole turmoil of the debates rising again for Calder. Him and Bedard, is Faber actually playing bad or not? Do you understand what hockey is? It got quite interesting.
We're never gonna be able to escape this.
I'm okay with it.
Two of the funniest players to compare ever. It's
find two more similar playing styles.
It is ridiculous that this might be a debate for their whole fucking careers. It's unbelievable to me. But I didn't know that actually devolved into chaos again on Wild and Blackhawks Twitter. I can't tell if I think it's funny or if it's super fucking annoying. But it's just two of the funniest players to somehow going back and forth between those two players is so funny. It's ridiculous. It's great, I guess. It will get actually at this event, I think it's funny because it's even more random at this event, considering only one of them's there. And then but I think during the regular season or whatever with their actual respective teams, I'm going to get annoyed again because it has gotten ridiculous.
Chicago doesn't have a single player in this tournament, do they?
I don't believe so.
This is their way to get involved. If they don't have any players there, they have to go after the player that lives as rent-free as possible in all of their minds, Brock Faber, who it's even funnier because Minnesota Wild fans, if we want to be objective on this, right? Drew Doughty lives rent-free in Minnesota Wild fans' heads. It is hilarious to me. It'll never stop being funny. But he's an asshole, and I understand why he lives rent-free in fans' heads. Brock Faber is the most unassuming, nice, Minnesotan you can possibly bring up in this. And they hate him. They hate him just because there's a discussion between him and Bedard for the Calder 1 year. It's insane.
Yeah, no, it's one of the weirdest ways to yeah. I always forget that Tara Vinen's back on the Blackhawks because that team is so horrific at hockey. But yeah, no, it was funny. I guess now that I found some of the there you go. Yeah, because I tweeted out the video of Brady Tkachuk absolutely deleting Drew Doughty. And it took off immediately. And it's just the amount of Wild fans who are quotes would be couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. And someone just goes, I fucking hate this piece of shit. I was oh my God, dude. I was this is crazy. There was one comment fucking 4 years ago. It just cannot let it go, dude. It's so funny. But it was the level of hatred and anger for this guy because of one clip from years ago about Kirill Kaprizov, who is also not here now, is insane. But dude, some of the hits beyond the fights though in that USA Canada game, leading up to that the first Gensel goal, that McAvoy hit through on McDavid. Holy Lord. He literally was about to actually do a full backflip, but caught himself on McAvoy's leg. He was literally still on his way up from that hit and then grabbed on and saved himself from literally doing a backflip from just a shoulder on chest, which is nuts. And leading up, McAvoy was pissed too because on that first goal, he got fucking dusted. That was such a nasty McDavid goal. By the way, speaking of Drew Doughty, phenomenal pass too, by the way, on that McDavid goal versus USA. Just perfectly placed, perfect speed. And anytime McDavid catches a puck at full flight, it is unbelievable to watch how much even more speed he can get. And I'm McAvoy was probably yeah, I'm keeping him fairly wide, and he still went backhand shelf on Hellebuck, who's also been incredible this tournament.
Yeah. Well, and I think the McDavid one, first off, because it was the McAvoy revenge on McDavid, and it just is McDavid. The fact that he almost flipped that one had the aesthetic, best hit of the game. Drew Doughty, the one that he got delivered behind the net, that one hurt.
That was Brady.
Way more. I know, but I'm saying Brady killed him. It didn't look as cool, but like Doughty got up and you could like see it. He's like, what the fuck
was that? Which is also funny because Matthew Tkachuk and Drew Doughty hate each other because they've had that beef going forever. So of course Brady comes in. It was nuts, dude. Like the Tkachuks were
fucking fuck.
I also loved I think whoever's just like made decisions on who they're gonna mic up, it's been A+ after A+ in terms of like the media. Because like Marchand's just been ridiculous. Like he's just loving hanging out with the fellas.
I almost forgot though. This wasn't on my mind. This wasn't on the agenda at all. But I have to ask you, like him sitting next to Mitchie in the locker room and saying like, "Great goal, Mitch." Like that whole thing. You like, I need to know did he buy someone a Rolex? Did he like give up a jersey number so that someone would switch stalls with him so he could sit next to Mitch for this whole tournament and just hear more about his dog?
His favorite player in the league.
Favorite player, favorite dog, all of it.
The fact that it's Crosby, McDavid, Marchand, and Marner sitting next to each other in the locker room is also very funny to me. And like, I'm just after that first game, Canada-Sweden, like fucking Marchand comes in just with a cup. He's just like, "Woo, you guys are fun to watch. Might be the biggest fan here." And then he just goes risky play at the end there, 8-7. Backhand between the legs. Did a loop around too. It was just like the look on McDavid's face, like, "Oh my god, this guy's a human being." And he was like, "This is amazing." Just sitting in the locker room as just Marchand just chirping everybody, but like in the funniest way possible. But yeah, no, I did love that he was right next to Marner, his favorite player in the world, actually, not just the league, the world. And I wonder how much they've talked about their dog or his dog.
Oh, it had to have been a big topic.
Yeah, but then USA Canada, of course, they mic up fucking Brady Tkachuk. Which I mean, they must have been like, what are we not gonna fucking mic up one of the Tkachuk brothers for this game? But like when the clip that I tweeted out again, I think it was yesterday, of Brady just being like, "I'm following you into the battle tonight, Charles. I'm following you tonight." And then he just goes, "I'm gonna stay aggressive. I'm gonna stay on it." And he just goes, "Hit stick." It's like, oh my god, these guys are losing their minds right now.
Dude, has Walt ever been more proud?
He must have been dying laugh. Like he's just like, Jesus Christ.
Some of the interviews, like people are asking him about like the brothers, like, "Oh, does this surprise you at all?" He's like, "No." But even better, they're like, "Well, are you surprised that like Brady went and did it right after Matthew did?" He's like, "Not at all. Like, let's be real. Let's level set. Matthew is the shit talker. Like he will talk laps around Brady. Brady will beat the wheels off of him. If you think Matthew's going to go out there and get in a fight and Brady's not going to go out there and try and one up him, like, what are we talking about? Come on."
Yeah, no, Matthew has said that before where like someone asked, was like, were you guys ever going to fight? And he's like, "I'm not fighting him." He's like, have you seen him fight people before? Like, it's just like, he is the bad motherfucker.
That would be the worst. Like getting fucking tossed by your younger brother on national television. That'd be a hard one. I understand why he doesn't want that.
Yeah.
And granted, I don't think Brady wants to beat the wheels off his brother either, but like that would be an all-timer if they did fight.
Well, there was also a game, I don't remember if it was last year or if it was this year. I can't remember what year it was, but it was Florida versus Ottawa, and Matthew is just being a lunatic and starts laughing at the bench and yelling at Brady how he's gonna kill. I think he said he's gonna kill Stützle, and then fucking the camera goes to Brady. You can hear him go, "Barkey's dead." He's like, "I'm gonna fucking get Barkey." That was like, oh my god, dude.
That's the way to do it, though.
These guys are nuts.
That's great though. Funny. That he's like, I'm not going to fight you, Matthew, but I will ruin the season for you.
I'm going to kill Barkey. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's pretty awesome. I love that. Let's see. This is an interesting one because like I was thinking about this before. I didn't know if I was going to bring it up, but Cole mentions it here, so let's get into it. How much of the locker room talk is recruiting? Dude, you should come play hockey with me. Like, how much do you think those types of conversations actually happen? Maybe not that blunt, but like there's got to be some level of it at the same time as like they can text each other this anyways. Like, it's
Yeah.
not gonna really make a difference. It's different when, like, I think the fun example, right? You got to imagine Kyle Dubas has basically blocked Joe Sakic at this point. Like, he does not accept his phone calls because seeing Crosby and McKinnon play together like this, like, Crosby has to be sitting there and at least kind of rethinking, like, is it really that important to my legacy to finish as a Penguin?
I mean, and that conversation has happened because they are like best buddies.
Can you what if Crosby and Marchand went to Colorado?
Nuts, dude. Marchand would be like, let me play the fourth line. I don't care. I'll just hang out. I don't care for shit.
That's okay. I'll sit up in the press box. Give me some popcorn. We're good.
He's like, I just want to hang out.
Oh, man. It would be interesting to see him in a non-Boston market. Like, he'd still be the rat that he is, but, like, do you think that being in Boston brings it out in him at all?
I don't know. I know, like, this is just how he is everywhere. Because, I mean, they asked him again today, like, hey, like, on Thursday, it's going to be weird when you get, like, Team USA fans at TD Garden booing you. And he just goes, I get booed everywhere. I'm just fine. I'm used to it. I've been booed literally in every building in this league. Which is funny.
Man. Anything else you want to hit on, like, holistically, Four Nations? Like, I know we didn't really talk much about the Finns. Like, they have a lot of injuries. This is a team that should have done better. Like, they were scrappy at times. Like, obviously the comeback against Canada was very interesting, but I don't know. It's a nation that for a long time was kind of that blue collar, just like their World Junior team, right? Like, they've got a lot of skill. A lot of skill. Their blue line is very thin, even when they've got all their guys, but their forward group is filthy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still think once Heiskanen's out, like,
yeah.
I mean, I think it was I think it was today versus Canada. I think Esa Lindell played like 27 and a half minutes, and he's a really good 3/4. But when he's your top dog on the back end, I mean, it's always going to be tough. Again, like, they had like, when you looked at that first USA Finland game, like, USA honestly looked like shit for the first 10, 15 minutes. And, like, Finland was getting chances. Hellebuck's just been good in both of the games that he's played in. But, like, it was one of those things where it was just, like, it felt like after, like, 10 minutes, it was like, this is essentially what Finland's got. Like, it just drained. And, I mean, then USA just popped off. I think they scored 3 goals in, like, a minute. Just like, okay, this isn't great. So, I mean, I wasn't necessarily all that surprised. Again, they made this game versus Canada today very interesting at the end. Mikael Granlund, I think he scored 2 in like 35 seconds at the end there to make it was it 4-3 at that point, I think. Yeah. And then Sid with a great hit gets the puck back, throws in the empty net, but I don't know. I thought that given their injuries that they had, like, in the amount of time that they didn't have to, like, because, I mean, who was it that got hurt, like, the day before? I don't think it was Heiskanen. I forget. It was another defenseman. But, like, I mean, they had to, like, be searching for players at that point with how many guys were out.
Well, and on the flip, though, let's preview the championship game for Thursday, right? USA Canada. Obviously, USA set the tone, but Canada's going to rebound, and I haven't seen people talking about it. Maybe I just haven't seen it, but, like, going back to this, Makar will be back. That's a big difference.
He is back.
Like, right. I'm saying he'll be back in that game, though. Like,
I
understand he already played, but, like,
he'll
be in the matchup. And, like, people want to say, like, oh, we lost Quinn Hughes. Like, sure, but you lost Quinn Hughes well before the tournament started. Makar was, like, day of sick, and they had to pull in a guy who didn't even practice with the team yet. Like, that makes a difference. It does. Well, especially when it's your best defenseman. Like,
and Matthew Tkachuk's hurt. And
he'll be healed up by then.
Right before we jumped on here, Ty Anderson the sports of the Bruins guy, said that McAvoy actually has a legit upper body injury right now, and his status for Thursday is very much up in the air at this point.
So it's Jake Sanderson season.
Yeah. I'm glad he's playing tonight too, by the way, because like he deserved to be on this team in the first place. But but I mean, yeah, like it's gonna be interesting. Makar's gonna be back. We'll see about McAvoy. We'll see how healthy Matthew Tkachuk is, I guess. I don't know, because I mean he made it very clear in the middle of that game versus Canada. He's like, I can't go. Like he had a shift. He came off. He did like a lap during like a TV timeout or whatever. And he was like, I'm done. I can't go. So that's not great. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The thing that really annoyed me was just like how loud people were about that game versus like USA versus Canada, like talking. I mean, everyone's gonna talk shit no matter what happened in the game. But it was some of the cockiest shit talk I've ever seen in my life. Like I had someone like, maybe Canada should learn how to play hockey. I was like, oh no. I was like, don't. I mean, that's just not even funny. It's stupid. It's a dumb thing to say. But like, I don't know. I don't think obviously the players are not going to come into that game like super cocky or whatever. But like, I'm just looking at like, I'm still nervous about it. And I mean, it's in Boston. We'll see. Dude, by the way, tickets are like $1,500, which I mean
after what happened on Saturday,
they're probably initially like you know 600. Then that game out, they're like, nope, jack it up, fucking $1,500 for a shitty seat in the nosebleeds.
Well, in fairness, it's probably because the seats were already like purchased, and now people are putting them up for resale. They're like, if someone will pay me $1,500, cool.
Yeah.
If not, I'm going. Like, I would do that.
Yeah, I think I looked today, and the cheapest ticket was like $1,400. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Wait, American or Canadian?
American.
All right.
It's funny too because SeatGeek puts great value. I'm like, fuck off. That's not great.
That's because the rest of them are $3,000.
Literally, there's no situation where $1,500 is a great deal. Go fuck yourself.
I mean, there's people who have enough money that like it's absolutely a great deal because it's a rounding error.